Slowly.
Slowly.
Starting August 2010 through sometime in the spring 2011, I had August 2010 I rejoined one of my old bands in Balmer. I had played bass for them from 2004 to 2008 before I quit, and I rejoined August 2010 on guitar. One of the reasons I left was just a lot of infighting within the band, a lot of drama, a lot of personality disorders within the band. I'm not going to mention names, but there's a certain member of that band that just has some, he's got some fucking issues, man. It's the only way I can really put it. But, like earlier in the spring of 2010, I'd started talking with him again and whatnot. He was talking about how he quit doing certain things and started getting his head together and whatnot. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, it did seem like he made some pretty good strides for a while. So when he asked me if I wanted to come in and play guitar, why not? So I played guitar with them for about a year, my second foray into the band, and just shit went right back to the way it was. At that point, I had already had some mixed feelings about being in the band, because at that point I was kind of... See, I've been doing this since the early 90s. I mean, I've been playing bass, God, excuse me, 21 years, give or take. I just want to start turning, fuck. Regardless of that, I started getting kind of sick of just playing death metal, and I've been playing death metal for a long time, and I had a straight up black metal band that I played in, and most of the bands I've played in have been death metal, and, you know, I love it, don't get me wrong. I've been listening to that shit since, oh shit, Imperial Stormtroopers are cleaning the house or something, but,
It's my phone.
yes, I know, being a smart ass. Just, you play too much of one thing for so long, especially when it's not the only thing you listen to. It stagnates, and you start, it's just too much of one thing, not enough of everything else. That's been a problem with a lot of bands I've been in, is, you know, either I or somebody else would bring something to the table, and it would get shot down on the basis of, oh, well, it sounds too this, or it sounds too that. And, you know, I've always, on top of being a fan of death metal and black metal, I've always been a big fan of thrash. I've been a big fan of hardcore for a long time. I've been getting into a lot of doom past couple of years, you know. Never really got into the whole nu metal thing, but like Fear Factory, I guess you could kind of call them mall metal or whatever, but I think their shit was brilliant, honestly, and there's a lot of material. Actually, the One Order 66 song I wrote when I was 16, and again, I'm 33 now, and this is the first time I've actually even been able to use it in any project, because it doesn't sound too this for this, or too that for that, or whatever. So basically, what I wanted to do, and kind of my little stint in Years of Fire, granted, you know, it didn't really amount to much, but it kind of put me in that mode where I don't want to be limited anymore. I don't want to just play one thing. I want to be able to take a song and have one part sound kind of hardcore-ish, and then go into a doom part, or have a death metal part complete with blast beats if I want to, you know. And basically that's, you know, what I started doing. You know, I broke that old song out. You know, it took me forever to remember how it went, as simple as it is, but and I kind of built off that foundation. I just started writing more material. I felt like writing a thrash song. I wrote a thrash song, but even then, like a song like Coward's Pride, you know, 90% of that is thrash, but then it's got almost a Vision of Disorder sounding riff. Well, I had worked with Chris in Years of Fire, and I was actually, like, after I quit in Balmer, I didn't even listen to death metal for like a good 2-3 weeks, and actually one of the CDs that kept going through my rotation was the Masochists EP by Years of Fire. like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna give this tubby bitch a call and see if he wants to sing. So
he's since lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he's on that Nutri-Slim.
So it was early 2011. Years of Fire, my previous band, was breaking up. No animosity. We just everybody had different stuff going on. People were starting new careers and stuff, and we brought in a new bass player. Only ended up playing one show, and that was the farewell show. But it was enough that I'd met the gentleman, if you want to call him that. And I liked his playing style. I liked his attitude. Even though the first time he showed up to practice, he brought a gun, scared the shit out of me. We had played our final show, and I was just kind of like sitting in limbo, like I'm not going to do anything for a while. And around, and I still kept in contact with Rob, our bass player, and occasionally would get the itch, you know, I want to write some stuff, I want to play some stuff, and eventually he kind of came around, and he had some problems with this previous band that he was in, and he had quit that band, and he's like, hey dude, I got some stuff written, I want you to, you know, see what you can come up with for this. And but he sent me over the demos. I really dug what I fucking heard, and I was like, hey dude, let's fucking do this. Let's get together your style. Quit playing around, dude, come on.
Answer.
Let's put together your styles, because he comes from a very death metal background. I come from a very thrash background. I started out with nu metal, of all things. Well, actually, I started out with the early remnants of pop punk, but fuck you, I don't care. I'm where I am today because of that. But he sent me in over, and I was like, this is fucking sweet. We started writing. We had a couple jam sessions with a couple other people. Didn't really work with what we were trying to do. And we just kind of kept going at it. Kept writing fucking demos. Kept, you know, attempting to record stuff in his basement. And didn't always work out well with the fucking shitty setup that we had. And I work with Rob because Rob has a temper, but not like a threatening temper. It's funny, him and technology do not get along. And watching him in traffic is hilarious. But Rob plays like, I can't say like nobody I've ever seen, but he is fucking phenomenal. And he's very coy about it. He's very, very coy about it.
As far as drummers and guitar players, there was that actually was the biggest bitch of it. Finding a drummer was like pulling teeth. I originally talked to John Vincent from Forged in Flame, him for a while. Really solid dude, amazing fucking drummer, dude. Don't let him tell you otherwise. So I started talking to an old drummer that I used to work with, Lee Andrews, who amazingly can still play drums because he broke his neck in 2 places in a car accident about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years, something like that. Jammed with him a little while. Ended up not really working out because once again, he broke his neck in 2 places. He was out of work for like 7-8 months. Then it occurred to me to talk to Eric, and Eric ended up being all about the idea, and now he's in the project.
Eric, and Eric got the demos, and Eric was very interested, which before Eric was in like 9 fucking bands and never had time. Eric is just a fucking badass drummer, and he has a huge fucking kit, and it looks very fucking metal. So and he's funny. He's funny to get kind of wound up. He's like, oh fuck. But and he's a sweetheart. He really is. That's really the only word to describe Eric. Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Marco. It was kind of weird because I was going to talk. He played guitar for a band called King, but I was always just really impressed by his technique and his writing style, and he was always just a really solid, laid-back dude. So I hit him up. King was still a band at the time, and he initially shot the idea down because, again, you know, he was still doing King, and he didn't want to take time away from that. He has his other, like, a rock band called 3SO that he does on the side. And so he basically said, you know, I don't have time to do a third band, blah, blah, blah. Well, then I see a post from him on Facebook announcing that King broke up. So I post on his page, I'm like, oh, man, that really sucks, dude. Check your messages. So I didn't even wait for the body to start cooling off before I picked that one like a fucking vulture. And one thing, and it's kind of funny, on one hand it was kind of like an anxiety thing, is he going to do it, is he not going to do it, but one thing I kind of like about the way he handled things is he took his good sweet time on whether or not he was going to join, which tells me he puts a lot of thought into what he does, and I like that. So eventually he said yes, and now he's in the band.
Marco had parted ways with King, and Rob knew him. He called him up, and he came down and jammed with us, and it sounded fucking sweet. So and he kind of didn't keep us hanging for a little bit, but he molded over for a little bit. I didn't really know Marco, but he came in, and he's got a good fucking attitude. Killer fucking guitar player. And then finally I got sick of waiting around, because I'm not one to sit and just watch everybody do everything else and wait for things to happen. I posted an ad on Craigslist just to see what I fucking got. And this little fucking Backstreet Boy looking kid, he responded to the ad. And he came down and he sent me a demo, and I was fucking blown away by it. I was like, fucking Rob is gonna fucking love this, because it was real, what do you call it? Not death metal, but very...
Black metal?
Very black metal. Had a very black metal vibe. But it still had like that thrash influence that we used quite frequently.
The other guitar player, Dave, we found him under a bridge.
A bridge being Craigslist.
A bridge being Craigslist, yeah. And he just came down, you know, he sent us some tunes that he wrote, and it's a little different from the stuff I write, but I like that. Again, I want to bring as many influences as possible. What he writes, it's kind of a weird mix of like black metal and metalcore almost, in a way. And I'm not that big of a metalcore fan either, but the way he incorporates it, it really works, and I think it's going to work well in future material that we write.
Dave takes every sexual innuendo I throw at him in stride, and just he's like, oh, and then he starts playing his fucking guitar.
Stop touching me.
He's like, okay. So they came down, and he fucking schooled it, and that's how Order 66 started. Granted, it took from summer to you know, this winter of, you know, well, what was it, December 2011 before we got a full lineup, but that's the long and the short of it. next?
That's pretty much it.
Is Travis Barker God?
Yeah. Actually, it was Trey Cool. All right. So, Rob, how do we get the name Order 66?
Bunch of fucking Star Wars nerds.
Okay, so tell me the story how it came about.
You're asking the wrong guy, honestly, because Chris came to me and said, hey, Order 66, and I said...
That's not how it happened. How it is, he's like, all right, we've got all these songs written. He goes,
This is really good, because I'm talking about you and like you're not even here.
Yeah,
Camera,
yeah.
so we gotta
we're going to edit it and make it look like somebody else is doing it. Rob calls me and he goes, and we're talking, and he goes, so have you even thought about names for this thing? Because that's usually the hardest part. And he goes, and I was like, Order 66, because yeah, we are a bunch of Star Wars nerds, and I had that imprinted in my brain for a while. That'd be a fucking cool band name. So I go, Order 66, and he goes, all right. So that was pretty easy, because normally bands fight tooth and nail over that name, so it came out pretty easy. And then when we brought the other guys out, it was just, the name is Order 66. And they're just like, ooh. So there you go.